give you my heart.
In this video, you will learn about the function. Then we will solve one problem named pigletting problem. Okay, so what are functions? Functions, what can function allows us to do? What's the role of the function? These are the questions arrived in the beginner's mind. Okay, so let's start with the what is a function. A function is like a wrap of code. Once we have defined in it, then we will use that function by their name just by calling it. Okay, so why we use function? Okay, function allows us to create a block of code that can be easily executed many times without needing it constantly rewrite the entire block of code. What's the syntax of the, let's see the syntax of the function. Okay, so def and then name of the function, like I'm writing name of function like this, and parentheses like this. This is the name of the function, and I'm printing hello like this, and later on I am calling it. So name of function, and I'm calling it, say it is called. So where are function used? So firstly, what we have to write, we will do is forward this. We will define as like this. We will write a bunch of codes inside the function. Then whenever we need in any program, when we need that function, when we need that code to write, we will not write the whole code. You will instead of writing that all code, what you have to do, you have just to call that function which has the pre-written code inside that function. Okay, so let's start with a simple example. I am giving a name, say for def, then add function like this, and I'm writing beside a num1 comma num2 like this. Yeah, what are these? Num1 and num2, these are the parameters. As we can as at the time of calling, you can pass these parameters. If you will not pass the parameter, then it will give error. Okay, so I want to return, say for what does the return do? Typically we use the return keyword to send back the result of the function instead of just printing it out. Return allows us to assign the output of the function to a new variable. What it will return, like a num1, and so for I am adding this, so num2. Now what I have to pass a parameter at the time of calling. So add function, and I'm passing the parameter, two parameters, so 1 and 2 like this. So what it will do is 1 assign it to num1, and 2 it will assign it to num2, and what it will return back is num1 plus num2. So as we return something, we have to store in some variable, right? As we are returning what? Num1 plus num2. So as we have returned something, so we have to store it anywhere. So therefore I'm storing here an add variable like this. So what it will do is, as it will return the num1 plus num2, it will store it in this add variable. Okay, later on we were printing that add variable like this, add, say 1 plus 2, which is equals to 3. Okay, let's go on other example. So for def, and I'm writing your function name is dog check. Yeah, dog then check, and I'm passing here simply my string like this. I had created any variable. Okay, so if dog, what I have to do is I'm writing my string stuff down first. Yeah, what I will do is I will firstly write some strings, or dog check. Therefore I'm writing a sentence, my dog is very loyal, whereas every dogs are loyal, man. But what? Okay, so let's check it. So what I'm doing is I'm passing this as a string, which is we will assign it as my string. So it will this sentence will store in my string, and later on I will print it. So okay, I'm writing a condition. Yeah, I'm writing a if condition. So if the dog means if the word dog is contained, if the word dog contains in my sentence, what means this dog word, if it contains into this sentence, then only I have to print it true, then only I have to return something. Okay, so if a dog, if there is a dog like this, dog in this sentence, in which sentence? In my string, as we have assigned it. So we can write it, what we have to print, oh sorry, like this. Yeah, we have to return as a true, so return then true. What we have to return is true. Yeah, true. And else what we have to do is, else we have to return as false, return false, like this. And we have to assign this, as we are returning this true, and we will assign it something like say for x I'm doing, and I'm printing later on. So print and then x, like this. Well, let's check what will be the output. Say true. Why? Because the dog contains in my sentence. So if I erase this dog word, then what it will print is, it will print a false, like this. Okay, now let's build a pigletting game. Yeah, what is pigletting game? Basically, if the word starts with a vowel, then add ay to the end, like if the word starts with a vowel like apple. Okay, then what I have to write is, I have to write this apple as a apple, and then add ay at last, like this. And if the word does not contains, if the word does not contains the vowel at the first position, like say for word, then what I have to write, what I have to do is, I have to basically shift this w, first letter, to the last and add ay, like ord, then w and then ay, like this. Okay, so let's print. Well, let's create one function. So for def, then I'm writing as a pigletting, like this, and I'm passing as a word argument. Yeah. Okay. So basically, I want to check for a first. Let's firstly call the function so that we can get better idea what we are doing. So pig, what type of word we are passing. Let's say for pig, then Latin, like this, and say for we are passing a apple. Yeah, apple, like this. Okay. Now what we will do is, I want to say for compare the first letter. So what I have to do is, I will assign this first letter of this word to anything. So say for first letter, let's create a variable first, then letter, like this. As I have assigned this name to this word as I passed, so it is basically assigned it to this word variable. So what I have to write is word letter equals to word, and then I want a first position, therefore a 0, like this. Okay, now let's check the condition, if it is if the first is vowel or not. So what we will do is, if I have to check the condition, so if first letter in A-E-I-O-U, like A-E-I-O-U. So if the first letter contains the letter in from this string like A-E-I-O-U, then I have to perform some task. What type of task? Then let's assign pigletting, which is equals to word plus, I am basically concatenating the two strings, so word plus ky, like this. Okay, what it will do is, it will, if the first letter is from A-E-I-O-U, then I am simply adding the ay at the last. Okay, else what I have to do is, else like this, what I have to do is I am assigning pigletting equals to, say for word, like this. I am starting from 1. What it will do is, it will slice out, like it will remove the first character and it will print from the second character to the last position. So what I have to concatenate is, then I have to add a first position. So what I have to write is word, and then here a first position, then I have to add at last is ay, so like this ay. Okay, and finally after this everything I want to return that pigletting. So return that pigletting that I have stored everything. So let's assign it to something called x, and I'm printing it later on. Print and then x, like this. Okay, so let's check what it will print. What do you think what it will print? It will print APPLE and then it will add ay. Let's check. See, so for if we are passing a word like this word, then let's check. See, the first letter we shifted to the last position, and then it will at last position, after the last position it will add ay, like this. Okay, hope you will understand the functions and this game. So hope we will see you in next video. Like a Hellcat.